So, Chief Warrant Officer 3, Stephen Redd, served with the legendary TF-160th Special Operations Aviation Regiment. So, just like I talked about, Gary served with that same group. They were the same helicopters that I flew on for almost the majority of my career. Truly amazing, incredible pilots. Stephen Redd was actually with Gary the night that his helicopter crashed, and unfortunately, only a couple years later, he was in a severe crash that took his life. He made the ultimate sacrifice for all of us. He had 2 young children, Jaslyn and Tristan, and what is amazing, with so many of our Gold Star family members, for those of you who may not know that term, that is an official term designated by Congress. A Gold Star family member is a family member who, an immediate family member of a fallen service member. So it is the parents are Gold Star parents, the siblings are Gold Star siblings, and of course the wife and the children is a Gold Star wife and Gold Star children. And so many of these families struggle with that loss and to drive forward and go forward. But then there are many of them, like Jaslyn and Tristan, who drove forward and grew up and came to understand how much they wanted to give back. So I'd like to introduce both of them, and they want to talk a little bit about the programs that Infinite Heroes supports that they themselves have been working with. Jaslyn understands the challenges military children can face and dedicated herself to helping all of them. As she has done so much, she worked with the Station Foundation, which is an incredible group that supports our nation's special operations warriors, and more specifically, their families. Understanding that the warrior themselves can't do it all, I had my family that was on the backside taking care of things. For every warrior that's out there, there is always a circle of influence of people, and for many of us, it is that family, and the Station Foundation focuses on that. Jaslyn committed to work and help with the Station Foundation. She did a year-long fellowship, and it was named the Code Red Fellowship, was named in honor of her father, and it focused on serving military families within special operations and developing programs for the Gold Star community. She finished her fellowship in July of 2015 and continued working for the Station Foundation, and recently received her Bachelor of Arts in Psychology, Bachelor of Sciences in Criminology, and Criminal Justice from Arizona State University. We were talking last night, and I decided to go sit down because I only have 1 degree. You know, I thought I was like something special, and then she was like, yeah, I have 3. And oh, by the way, I cured cancer yesterday. So, congratulations, Jaslyn. Then we also have Jaslyn's brother, Tristan. And Tristan also has gone through many of the Station Foundation workshops. These programs have been monumental in his life. He is currently attending Montana State University, where he is studying architecture, and he will be graduating with his bachelor's degree in 2022. It is my great honor. I have lost so many brothers, and I have watched their kids grow up. And I've watched some of them really struggle, and I've watched some of them launch and thrive and set the example for other Gold Star family members. It is my honor to bring up 2 who have done exactly that. Jaslyn and Tristan, would you please welcome me up here?
I continued working for the station, and I helped spearhead many of their Gold Star programs, and my motivation for it all was my brother and my sister. And Tristan was one of the first Gold Star participants for the workshops, and for me, as I was developing all these programs, he was my guinea pig for a lot of them to make sure we were doing what was right and what was needed for these kids. And to watch Tristan come back and grow into the person that he is today just proved why it was important to have programs that met these kids at critical stages in their lives. And Tristan is going to share what that was like for him.
I'd just like to thank my sister for sharing her part in her experience growing up as a military family and some of the struggles that aren't necessarily prevalent to most people or are seen in public. Growing up as a military brat is the only thing that I will ever know. From getting to romp around in the aircraft hangars with my dad, to the long sleepless nights of stomach pains from the pure stress for my father's safe return home from the battlefield. I would not change the events that have unfolded in my life for anything. My life experiences have provided me with wisdom and insight that I am eternally grateful to have obtained. I also know as long as I keep my faith strong and close to my heart, that someday I will be reunited with my dad. The day I learned my dad passed away shook me like no other. As a young boy who looked up to his dad like an indestructible superhero, learning of his passing left me to deal with denial and depression. As most 12-year-olds would be enjoying the freedoms of life, I was learning more about the real price of our American freedoms, the ultimate sacrifice. I truly felt like my heart had been ripped out of my chest, and I was alone to pick it up. I felt so disconnected from my general age group that in 8th grade, due to depression, I was pulled out of public school to stay at home and learn from the brilliant woman that is my mother, a living mom. I didn't leave my room, I had no friends, and worse yet, I didn't have my dad. The summer following 8th grade, my mother told me that I had been invited to attend the Station Foundation's 2-week-long Gold Star survival program in Montana called The Crossing. To give a more in-depth overview of The Crossing, it is a team-based survival program that only Gold Star kids participate in. Alongside them is a mentor who is a special operations team member who worked closely with their fathers. The children go through a series of highly complex militarized survival classes. They learn how to build a fire under any climate condition, how to properly build a sustainable shelter, traditional water gathering techniques, and hands-on medical training, which are then later put to real practice deep in the mountains of Montana. So you can assume, being a 13-year-old kid, on paper, the idea of the crossing is quite terrifying. There's a lot of lack of self-belief that ties into thinking you could do something like that. But rest assured, the Station Foundation prepares you in ways that you couldn't imagine. So through many days of mental preparation for the testing weeks that lie ahead of me, I was off to Montana, where I would be greeted by friendly smiles, soon-to-be lifelong friendships, and the crisp bite of fresh Montana air. The station provided an environment for us Gold Star kids to share, learn, laugh, and once again feel normal. And when I say feel normal, I mean feel comfortable in our own skin around kids our age. And for me, that was huge. From backpacking close to 15 miles through the beauty of Yellowstone National Park to fun-filled basketball games with our mentors, we were both experiencing a raw physical demonstration of pure perseverance and what it really meant to be a part of such a special community. We were seeing firsthand as to what it is we were really capable of. And we learned that our sacrifices are shared suffering, but more importantly, it is a shared blessing. For the first time, I was catching myself opening up to fellow participants. And just as I entrusted them with precious information about myself, they entrusted in me. This was the only time throughout the whole process of losing my father that I felt as if I had gained something from it. Through these shared experiences of opening up and confiding into one another, there began a huge shift in understanding as to what the Station Foundation had really done for us. And after my visit in Montana with the station, for the first time since my father's passing, I had found something worth living for. Since the initial crossing in 2013, I have chosen to return to Montana every summer to be a peer mentor for the new participants that would come through the crossing each year. I've become so heavily involved with the Station Foundation that I chose to go to Montana State University to be as close as I can to the people that I call family. Over the past 7 years, we, the Gold Star kids, have built a family of trust, loyalty, and honor, which are all values that the Station Foundation instills on us from day one. I am extremely thankful for them and the family they have created for us Gold Star kids. On behalf of all my Gold Star brothers and sisters, I send a message to the loved ones that we have lost. I carry pride as I walk through life knowing your blood pumps through my veins. There is not a day that goes by where I do not think of you, and as I grow older, I learn more about the real loss behind your absence. Till we meet again, warrior. Thank you.
We got 5 minutes.